You alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Autel AP200 to give it its full name. Basically, you'll see I've got a couple of bits covered up. I just don't know if there's any sensitive serial numbers that you might see. Basically, it's just a dongle, a diagnostics dongle, and I'll get to the reason why we brought this in a moment. But you would have seen on our channel that we've been waving around this Torque LR2 Pro, basically super cheap eBay special OBD2 dongle. And together with the Torque Pro Lite app, for example, which I used for a great amount of time, I ended up buying the full Torque Pro app in the end. Do you know what? It's been a fantastic bit of kit, and still will be a fantastic bit of kit. If I want to do dials up on the screen or anything like that, I'll still be using this because the interface of Torque looks quite good. So yeah, that will still be a good friend with us, a good friend to us, should I say, and will continue to live in the glove box of our car. So that's the old one. The reason why we're replacing it is because the other day, I'll put the screenshot that I took up in the corner here. There was a load of codes on the car. We were sorting out something else at the time. And as you'll see, there's a load of grey ones there. Well, those grey ones were kind of phantom codes. Obviously, the electronics are glitched or something with the battery funky might have happened. And basically, it dumped a load of random codes. We plugged that in, and normally you go onto Torque Pro, read the codes, erase them, and then they're gone if they're not permanent codes. But then when you scanned it again, they were back again. And when we went to the LR2 show, when we was on the Muddy Mods Muddy Freelander stand, Warren was there with his expensive snap-on computer thing. I'll put a screenshot and you'll see the codes up on his computer, the same sort of thing, so it shows how kind of good that this is. Once he'd done that, and I was amazed at just how powerful that was, but that's probably hundreds if not thousands of pounds worth for all I know. I don't know how expensive them things are. Obviously well out of our price range. But while he was there, he took the opportunity, to show us his Autel AP200, because he also has one of them on him. And I, obviously going from an app-based system, I kind of thought that the route that we'd go would be to like one you could hold in your hand and you plugged it in and it was like just that was it, the diagnostics machine was in your hand. So I was looking down that route, but when I saw this on his phone, I was immediately won over because of how kind of easy it was and the interface and everything. Yeah, really quite cool. We're not sponsored by Autel. I wish we were, because it would have saved us a few pennies. This cost us, I think, somewhere between 40 and 50 quid. Be careful where you buy this if you do plan to buy one, because I get the impression there's a lot of Chinese copies and fake ones and etc, etc. So be very careful where you buy it from. When you Google Autel, there's a lot of different sites come up. Obviously, we kind of brought this from the one that we trusted the most and looked most genuine. So yeah, just be a bit careful when you're buying it that you are buying a genuine version. What I'll do at this point, because this is all you kind of get. Oh, rubbish just fallen out. I'll get this plugged into the car and I'll get the app loaded up on my phone and we'll take it from there. Right, dongle plugged in, ignition turned on. Phone is recording, so hopefully I'll put it up on the screen over on this side. You should now be able to see my phone screen on your screen. You'll see that there's two apps in particular. There's Diag Europe and Autel MaxiAP200. When you buy this product, if you buy it, you want to download the Autel MaxiAP200 app. When you get through the setting up process of registering an account and sorting the app out, you'll be prompted on when to download the Diag Europe one, so you don't have to go to the store and download it separately. It will prompt you, so don't worry about that. I'm guessing that there's different apps for different parts of the world. My assumption is, by the fact that that's Diag Europe, I'm guessing there's one that's probably Diag America or Diag USA, for example. But yeah, we'll get it loaded up. I'm going to go through this as quick as possible because GoPros don't like recording at 4K. They like to overheat really quickly, and it's actually quite a warm day considering it's going to be quite cool. This is the home screen you'll get. And once you've obviously gone through the setting up of your account, one thing that I'll point out, when it tells you to scan a QR code, it's the QR code on the side of the dongle. One of the tips I can give you is if you don't want to break the packaging because you don't know if it's going to be a copy or not, you can scan the QR code through the packaging. So it might be wise doing that. So if it turns out to be a fake one, you've not opened up the packaging and it should be much easier to return to wherever you brought it from, hopefully. But yeah, providing you've got a genuine one, you set up an account and you bind the dongle to that account. So yeah, this account is now binded to my account. And the next stage in the process that a lot of people, it is written, like if you take this bit of card out and open it up, it is written in there as like a quick start guide. When you get to this home screen, you might want to go to the diagnostics thing, and if you go to that, let me turn on my data, you'll see that there's demo EOBD. That's what you'll be greeted with. I'm going to guess that one of their, well, that one's a demonstration, I'm going to guess, and the EOBD might be the one you use if you plug it into another car but don't have a package for that manufacturer, for example. So if I was going to plug this into Alana's Renault Clio, I'd probably use the EOBD route and go through that, I'm going to assume. But the main bit is go to MAL or MAL, and as you can see, lots of different manufacturers in here of all different types. I'll just scroll briefly and you'll see that they're all $21.99. Big tip for you, and this is why I'm glad that I'm not sponsored, because I can tell you the pros and cons. You're probably best not buying additional manufacturers. When you buy the dongle, you get one free manufacturer. So we've got Land Rover on our account, and that's also updated for life as well. So don't think that you buy a dongle then you have to buy a manufacturer, so it's like 40-50 quid for the dongle, then the price of the manufacturer. It's not. You get a free pick. Just be careful that you do pick the one you want. Don't just press the random one and kind of go, oops, daisy, I've kind of brought one, or like put the free one on my account and I didn't want to. I'll just scroll down, go to L, if I can click it, there you go, L for Land Rover. You'll see that I've picked Land Rover, and you get all Land Rovers. It's not just Land Rover Freelander 2, for example. This can now be plugged into any Land Rover and work. I said to you one tip and I never actually give it to you. $21.99, that's for 12 months. So you buy that an additional manufacturer for 12 months, and then you have to spend that money again. So one of the things I've seen someone actually say is to actually buy another dongle, buy another one of these, because when you think about it, if that's like less than 20 quid in British money and the dongle's 50 quid, after 2 years, if you brought another dongle for another manufacturer, it's actually cheaper than buying another manufacturer to put on your account for 3 years when you think about it. So if you just want another manufacturer for 1 year, then that's fine, but it will only last 1 year and you have to keep paying for it. So yeah, maybe if we wanted to plug this into Alana's Renault Clio, potentially I'd look at buying another one and then having lifetime updates, free manufacturer, which would then be Renault, and put it on a second dongle and label them up accordingly, if I can get my words out. But yeah, we're going to go to home. Main thing, diagnostics, that's probably the most important bit. When you've brought it, it'll obviously say the manufacturer, so for us it's Land Rover. It'll then have to download it and then install it. It takes a bit of a while, so make sure that you set it up when you don't need it in particular. So yeah, I'm going to select Land Rover. Obviously at that point you do need a data signal of, well, access to the internet at that point for it to be able to download and etc. Two menus, manual selection. You can go through and select your car manually if you want, or like I do, automatic. It'll find it out automatically, so you can tell it to read the VIN, which I'll do. Reading VIN, inputs the VIN into the field, okay. Obviously it tells you details about your car which are correct, so yes. And then you get the main menu, diagnostics, or diagnosis as I was going to say, vehicle profile. That just lists a load of potentially not great information, but it's really cool to know certain details. For example, generator 180 amp. It's really nice to know what type of generator, because some of the early Freelander 2s I think have a slightly less powered generator. I think there's like 150, 160, which a lot of people say is a bit of a weak point on the earlier ones. Obviously with this being stop start, it got upgraded to the 180 amp alternator. Yeah, there's all different bits and pieces on there that you can find out from your car. Then go to diagnostics. You can pick individual control units. For example, if I go to powertrain, the PCM, powertrain control module, I can just read codes from that, and obviously no fault codes detected. I have just recently cleared all the fault codes because I'd done this video for a second time and it didn't end up working out. So yeah, I aborted that and I'm doing the video again. So yeah, all the fault codes that were there was a few I've since cleared, apart from one, which you'll see if I go to auto scan, and I'll come back with you once this is all scanned. there we have it. Every control module possibly on this car has been pretty much scanned. You'll probably hear some popping and hissing from the speakers, because when you scan the various modules, because you're interrupting the signal briefly, they either talk to the car or talk to the app. They can't do both at the same time. So yeah, you'll get a bit of popping, a bit of hissing from speakers. The screen comes on and off and reboots, same as the stereo, etc, etc. But yeah, as you can see, there's no faults on anything apart from the BCM body control module. You go into that, go to OK, and then establish a connection with the vehicle, read codes, and then as you can see, positive temperature coefficient heater. That's the heater down in the passenger footwell. To be fair, British winters, we can do without it. The engine soon gives you a bit of warm air. It's basically like a hairdryer in there. Electric heater, it boosts the heat before the engine can supply heat basically. And you also, if you click the snowflake, it gives you all details about when the fault was triggered, some of the details about it, and in some of them it tells you whether the key's in or out, inside temperature of the car at the time, outside temperature. Yeah, lots of interesting information. One of the quite cool things, if I go up to ABS control module, press OK, one of the things that I like in this menu is not only is that you can get information about the ECU, like serial numbers and such like, you can also get live data, which is something I'm going to be experimenting with going forward, because I think that it could be quite fascinating. Such as, like, if I put my foot on the brake right now, the brake input switch status inactive, then says active. Take foot on the brake, off the brake, sorry, then inactive. Just shows you kind of how it works. And then also in this menu, there's all the different wheel speed sensor input circuits. So it tells you the speed of each wheel live, which is quite cool, because when you're off-roading, it'd be quite cool to see like wheel slip and how the car's dealing with it, that sort of thing. Obviously, this is for a diagnostics side of things, so you can see if you've got a dodgy sensor, but I'm looking at it a very different way. I know your rate sensor, you can see all this information, and that's just from the ABS side of things. Rear differential control module, go to OK, live data, and as you can see, pump output, pump control off, your rate, what terrain mode it's in, quality factors, lots of different information that I have no idea about. Some of you might actually, but yeah, that's that side of things. Not gonna go on too much. You can find out live information about most of this stuff, I can imagine. Like I say, I'm quite new to this app, so I still don't really know what you can and can't do. So exit out of there, exit, just keep exiting. You want to go back, yes, go back. And then, like, when you go to service, lots of different information in here. I think you can reset the oil, the service indicator from this menu. If you've got electronic parking brake, you can wind that off, do that sort of bits and pieces. Tire pressure monitoring system. Also, if you've changed your battery, you can let the car know that you've changed battery, brake bleed, DPF, program new keys to the cars. Yeah, steering angle sensor, lots of bits and pieces. That's quite funky to do. One thing that you guys might be able to tell me, if you've got one of these already, is this says change tire size. I've been into the menu before. You basically select, but the manufacturer. Be quite cool if I could tell, because it says automatic selection, manual selection. It just comes up with Defender, so I'm not sure if maybe that menu doesn't work for a Freelander, but it'd be quite cool to be able to tell the ECU that we've gone from a 235 profile tyre to a 245 profile tyre, for example. But yeah, there's probably some stuff that it can and can't do. I don't know. But going back, history, obviously it says about what's been done on the car through the app. I'm going to assume that is, it logs everything so you can see what's happened. Just in case someone's been fiddling, you want to go, oh, what's happened there? And then repair reports, no data available. But yeah, overall, the diagnostics side of things is the main place to be. That just gives you kind of a rough idea. I have tried this without mobile data on, because I saw a comment saying it doesn't work without mobile data. It does come up with an error, and I do think it works better when you've got a connection to the outside world. But I could still scan the ECU and use it as a diagnostics thing. I might not be able to look up codes and stuff like that, but I think overall the functionality of it still works as well as it should do as far as a diagnostics thing, as far as reading an ECU, erasing codes, or just seeing what's going on with your car. So yeah, at the moment I would give this a massive thumbs up from what I've seen using it briefly. Hopefully we never have to use it. Hopefully it's another thing like our jumpstart pack that we can just leave it in the car, forget about, and never need it, hopefully, but at least it's there for emergencies. What other things do I want to talk about? Don't think there's much else overall. I'll keep you updated on how it goes. This one of the things I do want to say is it's a fantastic kind of bridge between basic and free, and then something that's paid but not too expensive, not too over the top. You know what I mean? Right, the camera just switched off, so I don't know at what point the camera switched off. Overall, I'm going to round up the video there. I'm glad that we purchased this. Much more power, you can do much, you get real deep into the ECU and find specific codes. This just finds sometimes the basic codes and won't tell you exactly what the issue is sometimes. So yeah, if you want something, if you want to move up the ladder and not just have something really basic, then this Autel AP200 I'd say is probably the best bang for your buck. So yeah, before the GoPro overheats again, thank you very much for watching this video, much appreciated. Check out some of our other videos, and until next time, goodbye for now and splat.